you put fiddler, lawsuits, or your full name, but lawsuits or bankruptcy, and you run these searches, in quotes, or you SEC, Security Exchange Commission, Fiddler Security Exchange Commission, and you run these different searches, and which they would normally, you wouldn't see until the 25th page pop up at the beginning. I mean, type in, I didn't do this, but type in your name in pedophile. Just a first name. And, 300 convicted pedophiles with your first name. Or, I used to, it's there. And, there are, I'm not selling it. I'm sure there's somebody that can teach you how to use Google properly. I mean, for what you want, because, you don't look, and they certainly don't list that shit on their LinkedIn. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah, I had a vet help me to do a search.
A vet?
Yeah, because he was in.
Is he a veterinarian? I mean, I got a vein right here.
No. The vet from the Army who was ex-Army.
You mean a veteran?
Yeah, veteran, and he had, he knew about the high security, and he was very, very helpful. Because I didn't really know much, about how to use it.
Of course, now are you saying
I know much, but it was.
I know, we know that. We know that. We know that
so
already.
So it's good to have somebody like that who knows,
You can never investigate before you invest.
Yeah.
You can never investigate too much. That's one thing that I believe in putting in overtime on. I mean, Costa Gracias, God rest his soul, he says, the more you investigate, Mr. Peña, the less you'll invest. Invest in time or money. I mean, those are sage fucking words. The more you investigate, the less you'll invest. And some of the times, I get, hot and bothered over something and I don't. But then I stop and I say, I'll tell Kat I want to know about this guy. I've done that many, many times. I want to know all about this guy. And of course, he sends me this glowing fucking report. Again, you guys don't fail on paper. I mean, and when you're writing stuff about yourselves, I mean, you're, even though I think you're idiots, you're not idiot enough to put down that I did this, and that. And then we get Cat on them. And then Cat runs them down on the internet. And then, but it'll save you a lot of heartache. And it's terrible. I mean, I've had a deal, IPO, that was going to be canceled. The week before, they brought to my attention something we missed. And, I'm the head guy, so it's my fault, even though I wasn't directly doing it. But so I bit the bullet, and they said either the deal dies or this guy has got to be, thrown to the wolves. So we threw the guy to the wolves. But, I mean, if we had been that extra careful, we would have caught it, but we didn't catch it. And some of you only go out for 10, 20 years. If the guy was a crook 35 years ago, he's still a crook. And at least two people in this room, is this guy all right? He was an unindicted co-conspirator. Unindicted. That means he had a good lawyer. Or he was unnamed co-conspirator. That means he was guilty, but he wasn't named. And you ask me, what about this guy being the chairman? I swear to you, truth is stranger than fiction. And I say, are you a fucking idiot? It just means he had a good lawyer. Or he had a better lawyer than the other guys. Maybe not even a good lawyer.
They paid the judge.
Yeah. And so it was one of, not in this room, but one of you sent me a deal from not a superior court, but what's above a superior court in America? Superior court? State court finding in a paragraph, and it named the former senior partner, a Big Four accounting firm, was initially named, but his name was withdrawn. Well, I mean, That means he either knew somebody or something happened. I mean, why would you even consider this guy to be the chairman? Well, because this guy, he was nice to me. He treated me, the old joke, he treated me like a son, like that other story I told you about. But these guys and gals on your board have to be pristine, clean. And there's tons of them out there. And
then how much business insurance should I take out?
Oh, I told you, directors and officers insurance, you shouldn't need until this is in America. You should need until you're up and running, your first acquisition. You roll it into the fees of your lawyers, your setup fee, your articles of incorporation, the shareholders agreement, all that hocus pocus, and directors and officers insurance. Outside the U.S., I mean, there's very, very, and I've mentioned this before, I won't say none, but there's virtually none of lawsuits against directors. And the main reason there's not lawsuits against directors outside the United States is the United States has a thing called class action lawsuit, which means for the price of one, 800 people can sue you. Whereas in England or wherever, in Australia?
It's like England.
Okay, then, I mean, you got to get sued or sue the people one at a time. And most people won't put up the money. And so that's why 40% of outside directors in America were sued. And the last figures I had were 2012 or 13. So when they are worried about it, there's a reason. But if it's a director that lives in the United States and it's a UK deal, I mean, there's no reason that you should need officers and directors insurance. But when you get to be a big company, I mean, you throw in officers and directors insurance just, to be double safe. And part of your shareholders agreement should be an insurance policy, which is very often left off. So Fiddler is, he's not just going to run like a thief in the night, and he's actually going to stay with the business. He should have an insurance key man. Sometimes it's called key man insurance. And your key executives should have a life insurance policy. It used to be those policies were due, so when Omar died and they paid taxes on his shares, his family would have money to pay taxes, the taxes off. That's what the purpose from a jillion years ago. That's been lost somewhere in the wind. In the fog of war, it's been lost. But that's why you used to take out life insurance. And it was a good idea. Your widow or whatever had money to pay the taxes. Because normally what happens, Graham dies, he leaves $1 jillion in stock, and the family's got to sell off the stock to pay death taxes, inheritance taxes, called different things in different places. And in the United States, it's 50%, or at least until the law changes from President Trump. I don't know, what's death tax here? Well, your wife probably knows. Yeah, your wife.
So 3 kinds of insurance.
There's directors and officers, okay, and you really don't need that, except for in the United States, but you get it when you get bigger. There's life insurance on the individuals. So when they die, their family gets some money. That's assuming you make your family the beneficiary. I've seen deals where the beneficiary is some other person and shows up for the reading of the will, and who's this young lady over here? And they're left the life insurance, they're left shares, and a few other things. Plus the house in Aspen and a bunch of other crap.
And then the key man.
And no, key man is the life insurance. It's another word.
Oh, it's another word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's only 2 insurances.
There's only 2.
Okay.
We're just buying them life insurance as a benefit or in
It's a
some
benefit.
Shouldn't we be the company be the beneficiary? Not in a dirty, but like.
Well,
we're buying it.
Yeah,
Shouldn't
we
get
can be.
something?
You can be co-beneficiaries.
Yeah. So like a half and half.
Yeah. So
So there must be part of the shareholder agreement.
yeah, And all this is covered in the shareholders agreement.
Yep.
But so when you finally do have a board meeting, you got something to talk about. You got a bunch of shit to talk about, not just the 2 or 3 deals. And then remember, when you go through the board minutes, they're giving Ravi permission to operate the company. Just as we gave Graham permission months ago to operate the company, pursue these acquisitions in the best interest of the company. This is all boilerplate stuff. To the best interest of the. And then you'll get a lawyer like Fiddler that'll say, why would benefit his family? What about us? I mean, we're paying the premiums, right? That's exactly what you said.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought.
And and I'm sure that the YouTubers will have, if they're smart enough to figure out what that means, they'll have some smart ass remark. But it's all rolled up. So there are a lot of documents to sign at one of these deals when it happens. And remember, you've asked the board members, you're already gone through the fucking agenda with them. You don't want any surprises. The last thing you want is a fucking surprise at the board meeting. But you'll be surprised when you talk to them before the board meeting sometimes. But that's the way you feel. Well, there's your resignation. There's your resignation. All you do is sign the bottom. Now, the legend has it, which is legend, I used to have my pockets full of 11 resignation letters, and you could see, they'd be forward. You could see the tips of them. And when I go, that's just myth. That's just myth. And then I go like this, and Fiddler, yeah. That's just myth.
We're supposed to get the non-executive director's life insurance too?
No.
Just the executive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you don't even want to get the executive directors at life insurance.
No, I do, but I want my company to benefit.
Okay. But, I mean, you could do a mitzvah. You could do a mitzvah fuck. And,
It'll be a mitzvah when I do that.
Yeah, it'll be a miracle.
Yeah.
It'll be a miracle. And these, of course, it's not a little thing. I mean, when some of these directors are 70s, I mean, life insurance is expensive on old kids. Okay, I can talk from my own experience. I mean, the insurance I have is a lot of money. They seem to think the older you get, the bigger the risk. I don't understand that, Bill. The older I get, the more expensive my insurance gets. And they more or less told me they're not going to insure me past 100. We don't care. And I said, well, we'll talk about that then. But you look at the life profile of somebody my age, I mean, it doesn't look good on paper. Everything looks good on paper, except when you look at the profile, how long I'm supposed to still live. But then I look at them, what they look like, and then they don't look like me, they don't sound like me. But they sound like more some of you, actually. Okay.
So I guess we go back with the due diligence, we find out the contracts aren't real, we then renegotiate the terms.
Yep.
We're then set on a path. So you mentioned there's a lot of documents to sign at the time.
Well, the shareholders agreements, the leasing agreements, if you've got an office, there's transfer of leases. Depending on what you're buying. Intellectual property, there's depending on what you're buying. If you're just buying some website, net scum guy, there's nothing. And what you buy won't be there anyway. Mm-hmm. So, but if you're buying a $50 million company that's been in business 20 years, there's going to be a lot of papers to sign. And the lawyers and the accountants should have reviewed them beforehand. And all they do is check the boxes to see this is the same papers, and they go through page by page. And I told you, I've had people change pages from 3 days ago when we all agreed them to when the final signing, and they slide pages in.
Yes.
They slide pages in. Bloody shocking, actually.
Yes.
It's bloody shocking. But most people know, that happens once in a while, but it does happen, and that's why you got to check. And in different parts of the world that we've already talked about, it happens more often. Now, I'd be shocked. I'd be gobsmacked if it happened in Scotland. I'd be bloody gobsmacked. I couldn't believe it that would happen here. But look at Graham smiling over there. I mean, stranger things have happened here in Scotland.
Do you do all the HR and rehiring of the non-key employees then too, and handle those contracts while you're signing?
Well, you can.
Okay.
And the employees that you're acquiring will feel very much more comfortable if part of the ongoing thing is that you've extended their contract. But I don't like to extend contracts until I see them perform. They may have 4 months left on the contract, and I'll say, well, let's let it run 4 months, because I want to see that person perform for those 4 months. And of course, they'll want it then. But I mean, and again, buying the companies is easy as compared to running them. It just is. I mean, the integration of these things, and the bigger the company, the harder the integration. The bigger the company, the harder the integration. And it's not hard intellectually. It's just you haven't done it before. And if you haven't done it before, it's it's brand new.
Okay. What is the thing that I'm sorry I missed it? Like the thing that you say, like certain countries happen more often, like the papers.
Fraud happens more in African countries. Fraud happens more in South American countries. Fraud happens more in some Middle Eastern countries. Fraud happens a lot in Vietnam. Is that clear? And that's just the way it is. And what are you smiling about? Fraud happens where you're from, too.
Seattle?
No, Punjab. That's pretty good. You're getting better.
That's why the lawyer should take a very close look.
Yeah, that's right. That's why the lawyer should be a very close look at the paperwork. Seattle. You just have to hire the best lawyers you can. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. Seattle. Very good. Is that how you charm them? Wasn't there a movie about Seattle?
Yes,
Sleepless in
Seattle.
Seattle.
Tom Hanks.
No,
and Meg Ryan.
he's sexless in Seattle. Okay. Why don't you show your face? He wants to get his willy wet in Seattle. No, don't show. Yeah. Holy shit. Truth is stranger than fiction. I keep telling you that. Okay.
Last sort of comment question. You've done the deal, everything's all gone through. When do you then go and do the big...
I thought you were going to... Well, when do you put the money in your pockets?
No.
I'll ask that afterwards.
Yeah, let's do that one. Yeah.
Okay, so when do you what?
When do you announce it to the employees, to the business? Do you go down the next day?
Well, you've already talked to some of the senior people that know that they're on the block, selling block. I don't like businesses where they say, you can't see my employees. I don't want you to know. I don't want my employees to know.
Yes.
Okay. I don't like that. And I'll normally, under really certain circumstances, I'll just pass. Mm-hmm. Because you can't do one of these things. It's not a secret. There are no mysteries. There just aren't. Yep. And he's giving me validation over here. But and if I show up the next day, I'm there. This is not a Skype or Zoom fuck thing. You're there. You're there. Remember, you want to lead from the front, and you want them to know that, it's a different kind of leadership. You're actually going to be there, and then be there. And, your senior team, or you or Bill, have got to be there the first few weeks, first few months, to make sure that they understand that this is a serious deal for you. That's a serious endeavor. And remember, the employees will do what they see you do. And like I tell my kids, be the first in the office and the last to leave. And the first in the office is the facility management, and the last to leave is the facility management. And both my kids were the first in the office and the last to leave. Okay, YouTube, thank you.